Life is a precious gift I love and hold dear, and my art is the best way to express my appreciation for the joy and happiness and wonderful blessings in my life. You use a glass mirror to see your face, and you use works of art to see your soul. George Bernard Shaw.
Good evening. Welcome to Expression in Painting with Paul Creamy. Tonight I brought back the painting I did last time, the last show, and it's right here. You can see that the colors really worked. By putting this green vase in, it sort of contrasts the red. There's a nice balance, and there's a little, and the same with the blue and the orange. It's all this tension throughout the painting, and I think that the tension makes the painting more exciting, and it gives it a nice feeling. I brought a bunch of paintings tonight. I've been painting a lot, and I went back to doing black and white. And because I've gone back to doing black and white, I wanted to intensify the colors, although people say your colors are pretty intense. So I did a series of sunflowers. This is one. And I got these vases, and I got all this pattern stuff. I'm really trying to do some really wonderful things with black and white. I think that the world needs to get back to doing black and white to get a better feeling of color and design and power of the black and white is so strong. So this one, after that one, I did this one. A friend of mine says it looked like mother and daughter, but I just love all of this play with all of the different shapes and all of the different tones and the different values. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make you become part of the painting, to get into it, to really become part of it. And it really has a lot of power. The Orientals are the great lovers of black and white. They see something that the Americans will never see. And it's because it's all inclusive. Everything is included in the black and white. Don't need color. And they're the ones that buy these kind of paintings. So now this one here, I did all of these patterns again on the soft tabletop, and then the two vases, and all of this flowing, and then the sunflowers again, and some other flowers over here. I really love the play that goes back and forth. It's strong, it's powerful, and it's dynamic. And it gives you a feeling of weight. So after I did these three with the flowers, I did this still life. And I've been working with this Studio Still Life series. And this is a little more serious. It's a little more realistic than the other ones. I don't know what was going on in my head. Maybe I was copying the photograph to the point of bringing it to a place. But I really love the different shapes and the different lines and the texture in these particular black and whites. Someday they're going to be a show, and I'll do this with all black and white, and people will come and go nuts, and they'll say, wow, this guy really knew what he was doing. So after I did the black and whites, I forgot to bring one of the paintings. I have this gorgeous painting of sunflowers. But I brought this one. So like you can see the vase, the shape, the patterns, the flowers, the background. It's got a very decorative kind of feeling. And after I did the flowers, I went and took some photographs of the Indian Head River over here in Hanson. And I'm working on a series, and tonight I'm going to do one. But I did this painting of the Indian Head River in Hanson, and it's off of Broadway. And it has this heather, and it's gorgeous. every couple of weeks I stop on the bridge and I lean over and take photographs of it. And the other day I was there and I took a bunch of photographs and it's just beautiful. It was also 5 o'clock in the morning and the sun wasn't completely up, and that's why you got all of this darkness in this particular painting. So tonight I had my friend Colleen, who's the director, pick a photograph, and she picked, where did I put it? Somewhere here. Nope, I didn't put it away. Oh, let me see. Might have put it back. So I got all of these photographs, and I blow them up at Office Max, and then I paint them. She picked this one, but I'm not going to do a big flower. There's another flower one she picked. Probably stuck it back in the package here. It was really a powerful one with purple. We'll find it. It's nice. So I went and I had 50 photographs, and you could see the colors were real strong. This one with the red canoe, gorgeous. This one here, oh my God, I love this photo. I'm going to paint that later. A couple of winter scenes. Where did I put the photograph? You see it on the table over there? Here it is. I found it. Okay, this is the photograph. I'll hold it up. And Ted's arrived. We need our third cameraman, my buddy Ted. So this is the one we're going to do tonight. And it's the Indian Head River. She loved the purple and the bright reddish, orangish. And so I'm going to set up the canvas and we're going to get to work. Get this thing done. Okay. So I'll start with a fairly large brush. I think that's too big. This one's pretty good. And what I'll do is, I'll do the green. Maybe I put a dash of blue up here, right here. And I don't think I'm going to do the water black. I might do the water blue like this, a little darker blue. And see, see how much I struggle with the water? Don't even hesitate when it comes to painting. Just do it. Too many people worry about getting everything perfect and getting everything right. I have this mentality that when you paint, you get the paint on the canvas and everything else will fall into place. So we're going to go with this real dark blue instead of the black. Get rid of the bigger brush, go to a smaller brush. All right, so the greens, they're beautiful. Nice and dark. Don't try to do any detail. Just put the paint on the canvas. Block it in, get it down. Colleen will kill me getting paint all over the floor. I'm at my friend's house today, and I stopped in for lunch. The wife made me a tuna fish sandwich, and the husband made me a bowl of tomato soup. I went to pick up the bowl of tomato soup, and it slipped out of my hands. What a mess I made. Oh my God. Completely got covered. Got it all over the floor, all over the table, all over the telephones. Ah, I do tend to be a little clumsy. I've known my friend Tommy Blake since he was 8 and I was 9 years old. Our kids have grown up with his kids. Our grandkids play with his grandkids. Great guy, fabulous guy. All right, so I'm just dabbing away here. I'm just putting this paint down. And I'm not doing any detail. I'm just, like I said, I'm applying the paint. And it's not going to look like this. As we go into it, you'll see it change. Nice. Yeah, I go by this every day on the way home, and I stop constantly. Wintertime, springtime, fall, all the time. And I take pictures, and I download them into Dropbox. And messing around with Dropbox, and it comes out with this weird pink. It's weird. In God's name, did that come from? But I'm one of those people who goes with the flow. I figure, hey, it's really funky looking, and it'll make a nice painting. And doesn't Colleen pick it? Never fails. So once you get the basic layout on the canvas, you can start to do the detail. Little purple here. I think that's what she liked. I think she liked the colors, like the one I did with the very large one. And these are the kind of paintings that I like to do on location. You know, those plein air paintings. I love all of the, this is what a way I attack the canvas. People will be standing around watching me. I'm in Maine. I'm up in Rockport, Maine. I'm underneath a bridge. And it's real quiet. I'm on this big, huge concrete plat. Got my easel set up, and I'm saying there's nobody around. It's perfect, it's nice and quiet. I start doing these paintings, and all of a sudden I turn around, and there's like 80 people standing there taking pictures. A friend of mine said I should have asked him, gave him my card and told him to send me the photos. I just figured, hey, watch the artist paint. It's almost like doing this show. So I'm just putting paint on the canvas. I'm sticking paint in places. It doesn't have to stay. It can stay and it won't stay. It will stay. I have no clue. I just keep putting the paint on the canvas, and all of a sudden when I'm ready to get it going, we'll see what happens. And you don't have to follow the picture. The picture is just a stepping stone. You got these dark spots. Let's put some dark blue in here and then put some green on top of it. So these brushes are the ones that you use to block it in. See, I got no color in this area because I was messing with the stupid, but that's all right. I'll show you how we get around that. Dry this up a little. I managed to bring the blower this time. I've been forgetting it the last couple of times. It helps. All right, so what I'm going to do now is go to the smaller brushes and I'll start doing some of the detail in the trees. Notice I'm not putting every single leaf in. You see, I'm just dabbing it away. I come up with this way of painting. Oh, I've probably done 2,000 or 3,000 paintings of trees. In fact, I had a guy come in to a friend, a gallery owner, and he was in the studio Tuesday for 5.5 hours. Man. And he said every time he turned around, he found another painting he liked. He wasn't going to take this one, he wasn't going to take that one, and he wound up taking them all. Took 12 of them. The name of the gallery is The Palette, and it's in Sandwich, Massachusetts. If you're on the Cape and you want to go see it, he's got a bunch of Paul Creamy paintings. Gorgeous. Some paintings I never would have let go. But I want to go back to Hawaii. My wife and I, we talked about it. My friends invited us to come for another month this winter. And from what I'm hearing, we're going to have another crack of winter. So I want to go off to Hawaii again. My wife's the beach person. I sit in the background and paint. I'm hiding out in my friend's garage, use it as a studio. So this is how you do it. You just keep on putting down, building it up. Let me step back a little. You start to see it take shape, and it will. Got to put out a little lighter green. Looks silly. I like it when they look silly like this because they'll take shape in a few minutes. All of a sudden you'll see it come to life. In that pink and purple, that's the frosting on the cake. You put that on very last. I'm just hussing around tonight. I was in a good mood, so I figured, hey, I'll show you what you do, and then we can go ahead and do it. Because you can't mess up. It's paint. The worst thing that would ever happen is you'd have to go over it again. Terrible. I think I need a bigger brush. See if I can find one. This one, maybe. That's how I did the big painting I was showing you earlier. I just kept applying the colors over and over and over and over. There's all this green stuff in the water sticking up like this. So you just keep putting these lines in, and then below the lines, you put the reflection of the ones that you stood up, like that. And don't get uptight because it doesn't look right. You're building it up. It's step by step. Step one, step two. All of a sudden, you'll be there. I have painted this river, I'd say maybe 40 or 50 times. I did one for the Cancer Society, and a woman bought it. It was a gorgeous, beautiful fall picture of this river. And she said that she lived near it, and she'd see all of the colors that I had put in this painting, and I did a whole bunch of shows for that Cancer Society after my dad passed. He died of cancer, lymph node cancer, and I wanted to do something in memory of my father, so I did a whole bunch of shows there for them. And step back. Looks like a big blob, but it won't. It won't stay that way, I promise. So what I've done is I've blocked it all in now. I've got this really nice soft background. Now we'll start to build it up. We'll start pulling it forward. I have my reducing mirror. This is a reducing mirror. It's covered with paint because I had it on the tray. I was cleaning it up before I left the studio, and I got packing all these paintings. I keep dropping it too. So what it does is it pushes the painting back so you can see the dimensions in the painting. So we got all of this great color right in here. really having a lot of fun here, aren't we? I'm going to put some orange in. I should have put out some yellow too. I think I might get some yellow and throw a little yellow. It doesn't have it in the photograph, but who cares? Like the man says about the balloons. How come you can do this with the balloons? And the man says, because I'm the balloon man. Blow out these balloons on Johnny Carson. I was a kid watching him, and I said, boy, what an attitude. I says, that person's going to do well. And he did. Boy, this is really getting colorful, isn't it? Good night. I love it. A little bit of this. It's not going to look anything like the picture, but I don't care. Good. All right, now I'm gonna do this section right here. And then we'll get over here and, well, maybe I'll do this one first. All right. Oh my goodness, yeah. Good, getting there, getting there. Love it. I can start to feel it take shape. And when you put this stuff in, you always have to think, when you're doing a river or water, every stroke you put down up here should go down here too. Because it's a reflection, it's a mirror. So that you do the two of them together like that, and it says, wow, that's how you get that feeling. "30 minutes already. Let's get going, Paul. Good night. So slow. All right, get serious." So, hitting the edge of the land with the white, with the water really going to see me paint now. I'm going to really get this done. Now let's start putting some. So just touch the canvas with the brush, the side of the brush, and you start putting these leaves in. And all of a sudden it starts to look like a tree. Put layer on top of layer on top of layer, and then it, will start to look, oh my goodness, look at, how did he get that? Go to a smaller brush. The smaller the brush, the more it looks like leaves. Just keep putting the paint on the canvas. The reflection in the water, the mirror. Concentrating here. I'm not talking. I probably lost half the audience. I said, this guy's too quiet. And what we got on one side, we have on the other side too. It's just a little further back. It's a little lighter. So that we'll put this. And the more you mix the paints, the more realistic it looks. And really, really, really just, wow, it's really starting to take some shape. Just keep putting the paint on the canvas. Just keep touching it, tapping it. I'll work on this thing tomorrow in the morning. I'll probably work on it for 6 or 7 hours. And when I'm done, every little leaf will show up because I'll just keep going like this over and over and over until I get it where I want it. And you have to be patient with yourself. You just gotta take your time. If you want, go sit in your rocking chair, look at it, go back and sit back and take a good look and say, wow, it is cool. And it is cool. Because you're in charge. It's your painting. And don't take anybody's advice, just paint it. Just do it the way you want to do it. So it's yours. And I keep mixing all of these colors together because when you look at a situation of this fall stuff and it's just all washed together, and you say, how would you paint something like that? You just go at it. Just do it. You're the artist. It's how you interpret it. It's how you see it in your head or how you see it from the photograph. And, don't be afraid to use a photograph. I tell people, they don't see. People don't see. They don't look. They don't see. There's so much to see when you're looking around as an artist. And they say, oh my God, those photographs you take are breathtaking. They're for everybody. The same photographs are there for everybody. It's just people don't stop long enough to really take a look. I tell people this is more about teaching you how to see than teaching you how to paint. How one person can take all of these weird colors, throw them on a painting, and all of a sudden you have this incredibly wild and beautiful painting. To get a little nervier and you go like this, really throw it on so it's sticking out and it's thick. So you feel like it's coming right at you. I love it. Because this stuff is on the river and it's wild. And this stuff is further back, so you touch it and you do it softer. I want this to be a real fall scene. I mean, this picture is kind of bonkers. So I decided, hey, as I'm going along, I'm going to make this as colorful as I can and as cheery as I can, because it's a fall scene. Fall in New England, and fall in New England is breathtaking. It's already started. I call these pictures, the ones that I'm working on now, the one that I showed earlier with the purple, late summer on the river, and it's in my Facebook. I post it a lot, and it's on Instagram, and people are going, "Wow, how do you see these colors?" I see these colors all the time. Let me step back now. I have put a few strokes to this painting since we last stopped for a second and stepped back and take a look. Oh yeah, this is starting to look good. I think it's starting to really look good. Now you take the orange in those, a little bit of purple, a little bit of orange, and you start throwing them on here like that. In there, I can't remember the stupid name of those plants, but you start to see them. The detail I'm hurrying the detail, but I can take hours and hours and hours, forever, painting something like this. You just see, with the small brush, you just keep touching the canvas. I know, you're sitting out there saying, look at it, he makes it look so easy. It is easy. The hard part about painting is the act of doing it. You know, getting beyond your own mind, not being filled with fear. Who cares? You saw this when I started. It was like, oh my God, how's he going to get this to work? I'm telling you, when I'm done with this painting is going to be really nice. God, I'm really working tonight. 15 minutes left. Whew. Fantastic night. Love it. I love it when these colors come alive. That's what I was talking about earlier about black and white. See, you learn when you do black and white, what you do is you learn that the tones and the values and the lights, all of that darkness up in here, and then you push it over here and it's lighter and lighter, and you go down into this other one and it gets even lighter. All that from the black and white pictures. And I've got a couple of people that want to take private lessons from me, and I said, you know, I really don't do a lot of that. I spent my whole lifetime doing other stuff, and I said, when I retire, I'm going to just paint. And that's what I'm doing. In fact, if you went to that gallery, you'd be shocked at the prices that the gallery owner put on. I want to sell them. I got 20,000 pieces of art, and it's sitting in my studio, and it's time to move it. So what we're going to do. My son says, Dad, I've been telling you this for years. Well, my son's always telling me stuff. And he sometimes thinks he's the father. He's a great kid. I can't believe he turns 50 this year. God. One day they're little kids and the next day they're 50. How's this happen? What I'm saying, see what I'm doing? I'm just putting paint down. And then when I put it here, I put it there. When I stick it up in here, put it there, and all of a sudden, holy mackerel, I love it. Don't make it neat. No, don't be afraid. Throw the paint all over the place. I think the more the wilder you make it, the better the painting is. It starts to have a life. Starts to look real. Nature has its own wildness, I'll tell you. We as artists, we want to control everything. I get crazy with these people that do these magnificent, unbelievable photographic-like paintings. They don't have any personality. The camera can do that. I like it when it's stuff like this. It's totally wild and all of this stuff going on. I tell you, this is how Van Gogh painted. Van Gogh said he dreamed dreams and got up and painted them. And I understand what he's saying. I don't go to bed every night without saying, hey, you're a great artist, you're a great artist. And I'm not bragging about my ability, I'm bragging about the God-given talent and how you thank God is by doing what you do. Go after it. Don't listen to anybody, just do it. If you want to paint, paint. Too many people can discourage you. I listen to nobody anymore. I have some really intimate, close friends, and I'll ask them a little advice once in a while. What do you think of this? Because, you know something, when you're so close to something, you can't see it. So it's nice to have a friend that you can go and say, hey, what do you think of this? My friend Marie has helped me, and I've helped her. We've been friends for 40 years. She's a great artist. Ugh. That's what it's all about. See, now I'm throwing some white, just for the heck of it. I'm putting these white spots all over the place because you look at it and they're everywhere. Everything's everywhere. Yellow. Love the yellow. Little flower here, and little dab there. Jumps off the canvas. Orange, real orange. Just touching it. Boy. See about doing something with the water. We sure did take some liberties, didn't we, huh? Oh my goodness. What kind of a teacher am I? I have no clue. I get a kick out of my wife. I'll bring one of these paintings home and she'll say to me, well, you know, the ones in the background, they should be a little lighter. I want to tell her, yeah, you don't even paint. What are you talking about? Then I'll go sit down and look at it and I'll say, you know, she's right. I mean, that's how you've been married for 50 years, because she's always right. That's a good way to be, right. And of course, yes, dear. But she has a great eye, so I really can't knock her in that sense. So we did this, and I don't think it's done. I know it's not done. It's got about maybe 3 or 4 hours, but I'm just going to go back and dump a ton of more paint on top of it. This is going to be so powerful. You're going to love it when I bring it back next time. I know we got 5 minutes, and I'm going to kind of wind down, let this talk about it. All right, we had this silly little picture, and I put it over here because it looks nothing like the painting. This was the photograph. I'll hold it up. Heads can take a look. But what I have is completely different. I wanted to make it a little more colorful. And so when I take it into the studio, and what I'll do is I'll put a million tiny little dots on it, touching it with just ever so softly in different places, so that it really pulls it together. Right now there's a lot of space between it, but I want it to dry. I want it to get, there's a ton of paint on this canvas. I want to dry it so I can get it home too. Take out some of the moisture. Got these great brothers helping me tonight. Man, they're fantastic. And I got Ted. We got Bob in the back room with Colleen, Colleen's roommate. Nice crew tonight. God bless them. Put up with me jabbing away for an hour. So what we got? We got this fall scene, right, of the Indian Head River going down, coming around, the reflection of all of the stuff in the water, all of the foliage, all of the colors. And so we come back and we take the little tiny brush. We run out of time. We've got 3 minutes. Good. And so we take the little tiny brush and we go like this. And we go 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. In different places so that it pulls it all together. The painting, there's not a mystery to painting. Painting is something you do. The mystery is getting yourself to do it. I tell people, you talk about stuff, and there's a lot of people who do a lot of talking, that they don't do a lot of anything. The people that talk about it all the time are the people that don't do it. And the people that criticize it, they don't do it. So, somebody say, wow, it's a mess. You can't see anything. It's all over the place. So what? So it's a mess. It won't be a mess when I'm done, I promise you. It'll have a life of its own, and it'll be gorgeous. I'm done. I'm going to put down the brush, and I'm going to stand here and talk for a minute or two, and then we close it out, because it's been a long day. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, and I do the internet. I love what's going on. It's so wild. That's what we got to do. We got to learn how to let go, let the paint do the talking. When I'm sitting here talking and painting, I'm doing that for you. But when I'm in the studio, it's totally quiet. I'm just doing that, dabbing all day long. It's so relaxing and soothing. God bless. Good night.